the Stuff Daily Podcast. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. We're blessed enough to have a one of our favorite guests for sure, and the legend. He is the legend of Eastern Kentucky, the biggest name in the Bigfoot world in Eastern Kentucky, and the biggest researcher in Eastern Kentucky, the best researcher in Eastern Kentucky too. Bigfoot researcher Earl Mullins. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing great, man. And I know that we've talked about. There is something that you've got to go investigate here soon, right? About Bigfoot.
That's correct.
I know you probably can't say who the people are, which I definitely understand. But can you say which county that's in and stuff, and say what they're? Can you tell me what they seen and stuff?
Yeah, it's going to be in Perry County, and they have actually seen it a couple times, and their brothers that where they live at, and the one has made fun of me for years over um, just being he was a non-believer until this happened. What he happened to him, and he also had something happen up to the lake when they was night fishing too. So they got stones thrown at him and that kind of thing. So he's made a complete circle. He's a believer now.
Yeah, and you don't think he would be willing to come on the podcast with you and talk about what he's seen and stuff like that?
I don't know if I can get in touch with him. I'll see if he will. That would be good if he would come and tell his story.
Absolutely, man. Because Bigfoot is definitely real, and we need everybody to tell their stories, man. Because like you said, there's a possibility Bigfoot could be a human, man, and we do not want anybody to kill Bigfoot.
No, no, I would frown on that myself. I wouldn't want to see that to happen because the way I believe they're more human than animal, and that to me would just be nothing short of murder in my eyes.
Yep, and if Bigfoot is human, then it absolutely is murder for sure.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, man, there is evidence that Bigfoot could be human, and I mean, dude, it's just I mean, there's evidence that Bigfoot could. I don't get the feel that Bigfoot is an alien or anything. I mean, he could be human. You're right. Bigfoot could be human, or it could just be a ape, but we do know one thing: Bigfoot is definitely real.
Yep. And the reason I feel like they're more human than animal is because they they show some intelligence. They know um it don't matter what you do far as trying to get a real good clear uh picture of them or anything. It's always like they can just sense these cameras. If you got game cams up and just different things, um you don't never you see the videos that people get, the pictures is always blurry and that kind of thing. You don't get no clear definition most of the time in these cameras. So evidently there's something about the cameras that they know they're there. And I don't know what that would be. I've never had any dealings with the game cam or anything. So, but I just find it, interesting that they're so hard to capture, clear footage other than Patterson and probably the Paul Freeman footage just comes forward in my mind. Them two, I think, is really authentic.
I absolutely agree, man. Because if you look at that Patterson video, it is very impressive. I mean, you can see the muscles, you can see the breast, and the way they're walking is not human, man.
Right, right. They've got their stride. They've got their own stride. Yeah,
They're definitely quicker than us, faster.
yeah.
I mean, what you was telling us, like, you was driving at Slade, right? And it didn't want to run by your car like really fast.
No, it crossed in front of me. and it was, just a couple strides and it was across the highway. So a normal 2-lane highway, and 2 or 3 strides and it was across it and it was gone. So
Wow.
um, I would give anything if I could have got off the road that day somewhere I could have got off and tried to get some kind of footage with it. But the way it, like I said, way it crossed and everything, and it got into some high um, brush and stuff, and it would have been very hard to get it, get some good footage, clear footage.
Yeah, man. But the fact that you have seen too, man, and your stories are definitely real because I can tell. And I mean, what does people there's like what does older people and young kids have to gain from telling Bigfoot is real? I mean, they get made fun of and stuff. There's no gain to telling that you've seen Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's scoffed at because a lot of people don't believe in stuff, things like that. The same as UFOs, they think all this is basically hogwash, if you want to put it in that term. But there's too much proof. Even in like the Indians, for instance, um, you go back into their lore or their pottery, their paintings. Uh, there's Why would anyone draw a picture of something they hadn't seen? Um, and it's on a lot of their stuff and the stories. Um, these I seen a clip the other day that there's not one tribe in this country that does not have some kind of story about Sasquatch. Not one of all the tribes. So, all that kind of stuff. People just I don't know why they don't want to accept stuff like that. I mean, it's there.
Yeah, and there's actual evidence. It just ain't from people say. I mean, if you look at footprints, there's amazing pictures and videos of Bigfoot. I mean, there's videos of Bigfoot howling and everything, dude. Dude, there's a lot more evidence than about Bigfoot and UFOs being real than like other cryptid stuff.
Yeah, and like we've discussed in the past here, a lot of this stuff I feel like that our government, not just this government, but governments in the world, that they know about this stuff. I truly believe that they know uh, about all this stuff. A lot of it may be results. I mean, they be from experiments, stuff that they've created, and although I believe Sasquatch is not, they not created Sasquatch.
Oh, absolutely. I believe.
I don't think they've done that, but I mean, say for instance, some of the stories like the one about that I've seen about the Marine, and I think he was a Marine, and he was left behind with to take care of a Jeep that had broke down, and he shot one. Well, and he said that when he told the story about it, it had glowing red eyes, and then also when he shot it, its blood was not normal. Its blood was not normal. And then when they come and pick the body up the next day, when they come back to retrieve him and the Jeep, which was odd, he said, because they never leave someone by themselves. There's always two they leave behind, but in this instance, they left him by himself, which I think he said he was like the third ranked marksman in all of it, and all of his, I want to say the Marines.
Was that in Fort Knox?
No, he didn't. It didn't. I want to think it was in Colorado, but I'm not positive because it was a long time ago when I seen this clip. But just what he said about it, and he shot it and killed it. That to me, I mean, it was some kind of created, maybe perhaps creature. Maybe these governments and stuff, they know of Sasquatch, and maybe they're trying, like I've always heard my entire life, they would like to create the perfect soldier, the perfect warrior. Who's to say that they maybe captured a Sasquatch, um, got some DNA from it, got some stuff, and tried to create this perfect warrior because they're so immense, immense in height and weight and strength. And then they decided they want to make a warrior out of this creature. And they've created this creature because the guy said that its blood was an oily like substance. It was not red like normal blood. And when they come and retrieved the body, they came and they was wearing suits, basically, and left with it. And then the next day he had a visitor from I think he said he was a general in the Air Force. And he was told never to speak of all this stuff, which he did. But, when he done it, he was basically, where they'll black out their face and everything, and they'll alter their voice. So, but it was just, that tale was just fascinating to me.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. I mean, if you think about like Mothman, that would be something that I could see them creating for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just anything. And I would say that if uh, all this stuff ever comes to light, all this stuff, it's people's just going to be shocked by what has been kept from them for their centuries, maybe even stuff that's been kept hidden from people, common people.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever watched the show Ancient Aliens? Because they talk a lot about how aliens used to visit people like during like the BC area, the BC like before Christ, man.
Yeah, well, I had a discussion with the guy today, and what it was, he hunts a lot, and I asked him. He's an older guy, and I asked him if did he ever had he ever encountered a Sasquatch or seen anything, and he said no. And then, so of course I have not. I mean, I love to talk about this stuff, and we would start talking about it, and he was. I think, if I ain't mistaken, he goes to church and everything, and he was saying that in Corinthians that it speaks of um, aliens and stuff. And I don't know. I'm gonna look in the Bible and see, because it was, I think he said maybe 11th Corinthians or something like that. That he said it speaks of visitors and stuff. So I'm gonna have to check it out and see. But he said that was in the Bible.
Yeah, dude, that's definitely that'd be pretty cool though, man, if it does.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because I see him quite frequently. I think he said, I know he said Corinthians, but I can't remember. I want to say chapter 11, but I'm not positive about that. I think that's what he said. So I'm gonna have to check it out and see, because that's interesting. The Bible would name something like, UFOs or aliens and stuff.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of like it talking about dogman and stuff like that, or you've never heard anybody talk about? Have you ever heard anybody say that they've seen like dogman stuff in the Bible too?
No, no, I haven't.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, I just want to make the announcement that in September, I'm not going to give the date out because that's going to be a surprise. We got the biggest name in the dogman world, Jody Cook, on, and I'm definitely looking forward to that interview.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. He's also a Bigfoot researcher too.
Yep. I'll be looking forward to that. Listen to
Yeah,
that.
absolutely, man. Because I believe here in the next 20 years that we will find out the Bigfoot is real.
Yeah, if not sooner.
Yeah, 10 to 20 years, I believe that. Because I mean, we're getting more technology now. These Bigfoot, these Bigfoots are way more smarter than our technology.
Well, it's just like I said, I think that it always seems like they're one step ahead of you at all times. I mean, that's just the way I feel about it. Um, you can do the best planning that you want to do. And just like, for instance, where we're going to go check out, I'm hoping, that we'll have us an encounter that day. At least find a lot of prints and a lot of evidence that there's something going on there. And maybe find some structures and all that. I'm really looking forward to that, and hoping we can find some prints and some of the stuff he was talking about, telling me that there was stuff up there that it appeared it had been made, woven like out of vines and different things. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, dude, that's definitely awesome though, man, that people were willing to come forward with witness testimonies and stuff and letting you and actually showing you the exact area where they seen Bigfoot at.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm hoping, well, I was hoping tomorrow. So I don't know that or because I was planning, the way it was planned was, I was planning on just, maybe having just to work half a day and then maybe getting out. But now for your job, changes a lot of things. We, uh, you have to kind of adapt to that, and then um, hope, you got time to do this other stuff. So,
We're definitely looking forward to when you retire so you can go full throttle with Bigfoot researching.
oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that day too.
Yeah,
For sure,
I
that's
bet
for
you
sure.
are.
That's for sure. I've worked my entire life, and it's getting closer and closer to that day. So,
Yeah, and then you can create your own YouTube and do witness testimony videos if the witness wants to come on camera and stuff. That's just gonna make it even more cooler, man.
yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. I mean, who's to say you can't start your own research group?
Yeah, well, I'd just like to, at least, I'd like to be able to have the time to get out and really do a lot of research, and maybe with a lot of guys that's um, more experienced than myself, and like Don and some of these guys, and get out and with them and just observe and see how they do things.
Absolutely. And Don Neal is going to be on in September as well. I'm not going to give any of I'm not going to give anybody the date yet, but let's just say that we could possibly see a Don and a Earl collab interview. That's going to be very awesome. The last interview was amazing as well.
Yeah, he knows his business.
Both of you guys do, man. Both of you guys are very knowledgeable about Bigfoot, and yeah, man, it makes for a heck of an interview,
Yeah, he was pretty guy, pretty good.
and it makes for gold content for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. So what's the weirdest and the most creepiest Bigfoot witness testimony that you've heard here in Eastern Kentucky?
Let me see. Let me think. Well, it's probably the one that where someone was, um, I don't know if it would have been so creepy, but it was just so frequent that she said that she seen it. Um, they where they lived at, they had a business, and uh, they done made pork skins, and homemade butter and all this stuff. Well, their home and where they lived at was on an old Indian burial ground. So not only did they have Bigfoot phenomena around, they had spirits and things, and they would see things like different spirits at times. Um, but the Sasquatch sightings that they had was frequent. Um, she said, for instance, one day she was just looking out her window. She was talking. Her husband had already left, and she was talking to him on the phone, and just happened to glance out the window in the yard, and they had fruit trees, and there it was out there picking at some fruit, helping itself, and then just walked away. It had no, really was, just like it was at home. And actually, we done a hunt down there, me and a buddy of mine, and that's when I was telling you we went the wrong direction. We did see some structures and stuff.
Did you hear any howling or any whistling or anything
No, sure didn't.
or any knocks?
Nope. There's I've heard some knocks, but I mean not there, but I mean I heard some. I've heard some where I work. I mean I've
Wow,
heard.
dude. And
Uh,
that's in a kind of a very popular, not a very populated area, but there's a few stores around there, so that's a populated
yeah.
area for Vico.
Well, I mean, but if over on behind like where I work, over behind there, uh, there's a railroad track that goes through there, and then there's a pond on up above the store a little ways back into the bend. There's a bend and goes up into the hollow. There's a pond back there, and that's where we've heard I've heard screams, I've heard knocks, different things there. One of the girls that works there at the store, she's heard it. So, and then when you talk to local people around there that lives there, they'll tell you some stuff that's happened. They've had some kind of encounter, or they've heard things, and maybe not seen it, but they've heard. It's pretty interesting when you get into this stuff and you start talking about it, and when people realize that you're not going to make fun of them, they open up a little bit and they're comfortable with you and they'll tell you stuff. um,
Absolutely. And if anybody out there wants to tell either one of us stories, you can get up with Earl on Facebook. On his name is Earl Jeffrey Mullins on there. If you want to get up with me, message me on Facebook on Seth's Daily Podcast, and I will get up with you. And I will not make fun of you. I will because I've seen a UFO myself. Because I'm not gonna judge you. And yeah, and you don't have to come on the podcast. Just tell me your story so I can know about it. And yeah, and I know
yes.
Earl would love to hear you guys' stories.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love when people just come and just open up and tell you stuff. Um, like the guy that's going with me um, up to do this hunt up here where he lives at, and he lives in Letcher County. Um,
Is
he's
that
had
around Pine Mountain?
I don't really know exactly where he lives. I just know it's in Letcher County. He used to live in Prairie County, and he moved up there. Um, but he hears howls and things all the time. So I've told him, I said, well, maybe we need to just go up there behind your home on that hill and just nose around a little bit and see what we can find. And he hears stuff all the time. So um, and that's like I was telling you, that other guy that lives in Letcher County. I do not know his name. I just know he's got several clips out and they're on YouTube.
Yeah. Do you have any of them links that you can send me? Or,
If I can find it, I'll try to find it and then I'll send you the links, because yeah, he gets out and he just records.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and
That is,
I think my friend, he knows him, and but we never, like I said, I work all the time. We haven't never got to, and I'd like to get to talk to that fella,
yep.
see what he can share.
And yeah, dude. Do you see mostly you see Bigfoot close to like water areas like the lake and like close to here where the creek is and stuff. And do you
Well,
think there's
yeah,
any
well, they would have,
connection? Oh, my bad. What did you say?
they have to have, the stuff just like we do to sustain
Absolutely.
themselves. So yeah, they're anything, especially forest, and the more cover, the better. Way I look at it for them. And then it's just got a and food sources, and they're set.
Yeah.
So
Ish and everything. Do you see a connection between this is gonna be a funny this could be a funny question to the non-believers out there, but this is a great question for us who believe in UFOs and stuff. a lot of people are going to say, "Why are you asking this question?" But there's a lot of people that think this, and it's a good possibility. And UFOs are real, just so you people know out there. Do you think UFOs go into water to charge their batteries and stuff?
I've heard stories like that where they actually they would go into they was in the ocean and go down, maybe was in the bottom of the ocean and then would come out. Um, I've heard stories like that about UFOs. Um,
Yeah,
far as my own personal beliefs, I know I've seen one, definitely. I've seen one. But other than, have any beliefs about their habits or anything, I just think that that this world is not the only world. I mean, the galaxy uh, I mean, who's to say how many planets that there are that we don't know about that actually has sustained life? I think you'd have to be pretty close-minded to think that this is the only planet that was created um, that has only planet that has life. I just
yeah,
don't believe. I just don't believe that. I just think that there is in the other galaxies. I mean, maybe we're not meant to discover everything.
yeah. Maybe they know about us, but we don't know about them because they have way more technology than us.
Right, they're advanced in different things because I mean, um, I've not been saved or anything like that, I believe, and God created everything. I just don't think that in my own mind that He created one planet with life. If He was like like we supposedly are created in His image, we would be experimenting and doing things, um, not with just one planet. I would believe that he would be experimenting and doing different things with, you know, just trying different things. I guess that sounds kind of weird, but that's the way I think. I mean, who's to say that there's uh, not 10 more planets out there that's got life, but on each planet, the people and the inhabitants is a little bit different.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of evidence of even life on Mars. Wasn't there water found on there and stuff?
Yeah, there's been some more recent, and more recently, there's been other things that's been coming out about Mars that they've found. Yeah, so
Was it plants or insects or something like that?
see, I know it was said that they had found evidence that there was water there at one time. I think I've seen that maybe. But yeah, this stuff, I mean, when you just sit and think about all this stuff, you can create in your own mind all kinds of scenarios with this stuff.
Yeah, but I do have to say there's too many witnesses out there for Bigfoot and UFOs not to be real.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, people were seeing something and people are recording it. I mean, you can tell if it's somebody getting in a ape soup, or you can tell if it's actual authentic evidence,
Right.
authentic videos and stuff like that. Did you see that one picture that was fake going around? I believe it was at Cumberland Lake of a
Yeah.
fake
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, that was definitely a fake.
Yeah, and to the people that did that, you guys are idiots.
Yeah, well, I had a friend that said that that photo had been circulating, I think he said since 2013, and they keep tagging it with different locations. So
Yeah,
he, I mean, he confirmed what, I mean, I already felt that it was definitely a fake, and he confirmed it. So,
yeah, whoever did that is definitely idiots and have no life.
they just, I mean, there's people out there that wants to try to make the ones that are believers, they want to try to make them look foolish for one thing, for even thinking and believing in that kind of stuff, and then they're wanting attention. So then that's the result of that kind of stuff. They'll come up with some of uh craziest looking photos that I've ever seen. And I mean, instantly that it's fake just by just looking. I mean, it's um but you got these guys that's actually like Paul Freeman. That's authentic footage, I think, and Patterson footage, and Todd Standing. He's got a lot of stuff that I truly believe. I mean, it's authentic. So it's researchers out there that's in it for the research and everything, and want to prove that something does exist. And I mean, then you've got all these that wants to try to debunk all that kind of stuff. So it's just like a constant battle between, fake and the real.
Yeah. I mean, people are always gonna do stuff for clicks and likes.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. And what's the best? Has anybody ever showed you pictures and stuff like witnesses and stuff? Have you ever seen something that's like that is absolutely Bigfoot?
No, no, I haven't had that, but I mean, just some of the tales that people, have told me. Um, if you hear enough tales like I have, and I've heard numerous, um, you can tell when somebody's trying to, just make something up, or you can tell somebody it's authentic in their and what they saw, or what they heard, and different things. You can just, I mean, it don't take you. You can discern that pretty quick, or I can. So
Exactly. Do you have any sightings around the lit car and the like around where Car Creek Elementary and all them places are and Big Y and all them?
just like the one that I told you with the girl and her husband that was kayaking and stuff. That one, and but then there's all kinds of uh, stuff connecting between um, where I live here and going through um, Arshman and over and going out through and coming out over to the high school and different things. There's several um, different people that has had occurrences. The one guy that I mentioned that hunts quite and he says he sees it quite frequently, which I've not got to meet him yet. Um, but he hunts quite regular a lot. He says he sees it right frequently. I've not got to talk to him, like I said, face to face, to just see, kind of get a read on him and see, what kind of stuff he wants to share. Um, there's another guy said that they was in that same area, that they was having a kind of party kind of thing, a cookout kind of thing. And when it got dark, that they had started hearing things, screams and knocks and just different things. Um, so like I said, there's a lot around the lake here, definitely a lot of stories.
And yeah, dude, that's where I live at. So has that one guy seen Bigfoot frequently around the lake?
Well, he said when he hunts, yeah, he says he's seen it several times.
Where at exactly around the lake?
It was, and hmm, I don't know if he would be actually at the lake, because where he hunts at, I'm not for sure. I'm wanting to think that he hunts, just where he lives, which
Oh,
would be
he lives around the lake.
he lives up what you call Perkins Madden Fork.
Where's that at?
It's Arshman. It's Main Arshman,
Oh
what we
yeah,
call
yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh
Main
yeah, yeah,
Arshman.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know where it's at. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I believe that there's different Bigfoots in different areas. I'm sure there's Bigfoots behind your house. And have you ever heard anything behind your house that makes you go like, "Hell's Bigfoot"?
No, but like I mean, um, back before Dad, um, he let him mine take the top off. He let him come down to like number 7. They call number 7, or I don't think he come down to 5. But back when I was young and we squirrel hunted and stuff, I can remember things. I never did hear, like I said, when I was that young, I didn't know of something like this or know of any things, but there was things that happened that I didn't know then or had no explanation for, but I know now. Back behind the house here, there was that one tree that had the way it was bent. I was talking about the way it was bent, that definitely a Sasquatch done that. Um, and I can vaguely remember maybe there was some structures and stuff. But like I said, back then, I never knowed of nothing like that. I wouldn't have recognized that as a structure. But when I think about stuff like that now, then that's probably what I was seeing, what I was viewing. It was actual like a structure. And some of these trees it's bent and that I thought had grown just abnormally. And it was actually perhaps done by a Sasquatch, the way it was bent and different things.
Oh, absolutely, man, and that's definitely impressive. So, have you ever heard somebody say that they've heard Bigfoot say words before?
No, no. But now yeah, I think we was talking about that. I seen a clip where that actually they was saying that there and they call them tribes or groups of these Sasquatch that there would be one per tribe or one per group that could communicate with humans. So there would be at least one. So I found that I mean, that's interesting. That made me even think even more that they was more human than animal. So well, that would be awesome. You was to have an encounter with a Sasquatch and it just told you, said hello to you, you would probably just about fall over.
I'd poop my pants.
Yeah. I mean, if he actually that one actually spoke to you, that would be just so awesome.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what would you what is one thing that you wish you would have done when you seen Bigfoot in on both occasions?
Well, really, on both times, I mean, it wasn't really much I could do, except for the first time, um, which may have been kind of foolish, but if I'd went on outside and went headed towards it and seen and got a real, close, seen what it was and seen and um, and you would just hope for the best that it wouldn't turn on you and feel like it was threatened and then attack you or whatever, or if it would run and run off from me. That's the first one. I wish I'd kind of been more proactive and went towards and went out and actually seen what I was verified really what I was seeing. The second time, I couldn't really done anything different because where it happened, I had nowhere to get off the highway. Um, it was just you had basically no shoulder. So if I could have got off the highway, then maybe I could have done something. Tried to attempt to get some kind of footage or something, but it was like I said, it was in two or three couple of strides. It was across the highway and gone.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you didn't have much of a reaction time.
yeah, I completely understand that. I'm sure there is a lot of people out there that had the same situations happen to them because Bigfoot is the ultimate camouflage in the woods.
Yep, they definitely know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
is for sure.
I feel that.
I believe they're smarter than us humans.
Well, I wouldn't, I just think that I don't know if they're really smarter than us, but I just think that they possess intelligence that is more advanced than animals. They're not on the level of an animal like a bear or a coyote or a mountain lion or anything like that. They're a lot more intelligent than that.
Yeah,
If
and
you think about it, they have to be. I mean, to survive. I mean, they have to be.
absolutely, absolutely, and we definitely I know you got to get up early. We definitely look forward to having you back on, man. And we love talking. I love talking Bigfoot with you here on the show. And yeah, man, like I said, expect you're gonna be on September the 1st. We know that for sure, and that's gonna be definitely exciting. That's at 9 p.m. And then uh someday in September, Don, Neil, and hopefully you, if your work allows you to, you'll be on with them.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Absolutely, man. You two, you and Don are my favorite Bigfoot researchers out there, man, and you're definitely the best Bigfoot researcher in Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm the best, but I enjoy what I do when I get time to do it.
Yeah, and yeah, dude. Do you? This is just my last question. Do you plan on writing any books possibly once you retire?
I someone else mentioned that said I should do something like that because like so many people is I've got so many tales that I can share and experiences from different people. Yeah, I don't know. That might would be a possibility, but that would be something to keep you occupied for sure.
Yeah, and
Doing something like that.
that would be a lot of fun. It'll be a good read too, man, with the stories you got.
Yeah, it would be. I definitely got plenty of stories I could share with,
Maybe
people.
you can make that into 4 or 5 books.
Yeah, it's a lot of stories, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you know who Borda Sloan is, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
He is
Actually,
the
he
mailman.
yeah, actually he is my uncle John. He's a brother to John. It's my uncle John's been dead for several years. He passed away. Bortis is his brother.
Yeah. Bordas is going to be on the podcast September the 4th, and we're going to talk about his books. That's going to be a great interview, too.
Oh yeah, I'd like to hear that because I don't think that I've ever met um, Bortis personally. I just know that he was my uncle's brother, and I know he's got them books. So I know my brother purchased all his books when he came in. He lives in Indiana. He came in the last time he got all of Bortis's books. I'm thinking.
Yeah, they are definitely some good reads. And Justin Perkins, he's another author from Knott County. He's got some great books as well.
I don't know if I know him.
Yeah, I've had him on once before, and I definitely plan on having him and on again for sure. And yeah, man, this has been I want to give a shout out to Talk Junkie, which is a podcast that Justin Perkins does. Shout out to Brad and Jordan at down the holler. Shout out to Goose and Pup and Dan the barbecue man at Here to Chew Bubblegum, and shout out to the Spooky family. And shout out to the Paranormal Trucker. That's another great podcast, and them are some good friends of mine. Definitely check them out and subscribe and like theirs. And yeah, and I want to thank Earl for being on. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. Y'all have a good night, and God